my name. I represent Aniri of Gwaji River Federal Constituency from Enugu State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I think I would want to propose an amendment, and this is to ensure some level of functionality regarding the committee's work. First and foremost, we must know that there is privity of contract. Nobody should be able to inherit anybody's liability. Privity of contract is belonging to an entity and the person is contract. Two is that what will cure this, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Speaker, sorry, is what is the status of the government regulation regarding prepaid meters. So they should find out the status of operations of prepaid meters or the level of fulfillment. What he's saying is because he's living in an urban area in Surulere. In my own village, it's bulk metering. In fact, what they have done is to de-electrify all my constituency, Mr. Speaker. And these distribution companies are acting much more in breach. So my own amendment is the committee should investigate the status of prepaid meter as a policy of the federal government, its level of implementation. I so amend.
Seconder, Honorable Engineer, say against any that's it. Those in favor of the say that's it.
Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Aniekan Umana, member representing the unique and hardworking people of Abak Itimegwika Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, we are from Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Speaker, I have a motion calling on the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, to suspend the proposed increase in electricity tariff. The House knows or recalls that the Electric Power Sector Act of 2005 established the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission with a mandate to license distribution companies, DISCOs, to determine operating codes and standards, establish customer rights and obligations, and set cost-reflective industry tariff. Also recalls that the Act prescribed its funding from 15% of electricity charges paid by customers to distribution companies. Aware that NERC, working with distribution companies as the DISCOs, has increased electricity tariff 5 times in 2015, and the latest being on January 1st, 2021. Also aware that despite these increases, Nigerians have not enjoyed significant improvement in power generation and supply. Instead, they daily grapple with epileptic services from the DISCOs and unilateral exploitation in the name of estimated billing arising from non-metering of over 50% of consumers in our country. Observes that the poor services of the DISCOs have impacted negatively on the socioeconomic activity growth of the country, as the International Monetary Fund IMF report of 2020 on Nigeria indicated that the manufacturing sector lost over $200 billion to inadequate power supply, and while a whopping $21 billion was paid or was said to have been spent by Nigerians on generating sets within the period under review. Further observes that Nigerian masses have gone through so much hardship in recent times arising from acts of terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, farmers and herders crisis with its toll on the agricultural activities, displacement from ancestral homes, loss of loved ones, starvation arising from inability to return to daily economic occupation, and loss of personal properties running into several millions of naira. Concerned that at a time governments all over the world are adopting measures to cushion the devastating effect of the dreaded COVID-19 pandemic, on their citizens by providing a wide range of palliatives to losses of loved ones, jobs, businesses, and general distortion of social life. NERC, that's the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, is thinking with the idea of further increasing electricity tariff after that of January 1, 2021, in a country where 2/3 of over 200 million people population is grappling with the crippling effect of a pandemic. Mr. Speaker, we're also concerned that the current economic recession, made worse by hyperinflation, has resulted in skyrocketing prices of foodstuff, while increase in prices of petroleum products has also triggered further increase in transport costs and rents, with unemployment rates frightening at about 33.3%, while the spending power of average Nigerians has drastically reduced. Any further hike in electricity tariff, Mr. Speaker, at this time will amount to an overkill, lack of empathy, and the height of insensitivity. The House therefore resolves to urge the federal government to direct the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission to rescind its decision to further increase electricity tariff proposed for June 2021 in view of the hard times Nigerian masses are currently going through. 2, mandate committees on power, poverty alleviation, labor, employment, and productivity to ensure compliance. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Second.
Protect Nigeria. But the question is this: the committee saddled with that job, who was mandated to carry out that action, how far have they carried it? In this section, it was done in this section. So that action, which the House has mandated that committee, is in action. And up till now, that committee has not made its report. The evidence is there in the rules. The evidence is there in the rules.
Well, what was I have quoted is that any specific question upon which the House has come to a conclusion during the current session, except upon the specific motion for decision. And the only person that can confirm to us that yes, this matter was taken is the chairman rules or the clerk. So clerk, can you confirm to us? Yes, Honorable Johnson.
Why I stood up, Mr. Speaker, is when you look at this motion, is trying to mitigate an action that is about to happen in June, suspending a plan that is about to happen in June. So if we undermine this motion, an action that is about to happen will happen while we are still searching for the stage of a motion that was already moved, that is already under investigation. So I so submit, Mr. Speaker.
But Mr. Honorable Johnson.
Federal constituency, Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, yes, it is true that there was a similar motion, but the mandate, the prayer then was to mandate the Committee on Power to interface with the Minister for Power and other stakeholders to stop the increase at that time. And indeed, it was stopped. Okay? So the motion earlier moved has served its purpose. Served its purpose. It was stopped. But increment by the power agencies is gradual. They are gradually killing people, you know, gradually extorting people. So, Mr. Speaker, the previous motion has served its purpose.
And to the General, guide the amendment, say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. Those in favor of the motion as amended, say aye. For the amendment? Okay, sorry.